Hello again. So we're ready for another Daly's demo. Today we're going to have a little look at producing a Luke Dixon inspired self-portrait. Now for this you will need a printout of your own face from a photograph, and you'll need to either try and get hold of a light box or use a window to draw a nice outline, just an outline of all the shapes you can see. So I've started one here in pencil, but I'm going to work over it with a fine liner. Now, if you can't get yourself a fine liner, try and get hold of a black biro or something like that. But what you want is something with a nice crisp line, okay? Because that's going to be really important in order to produce something that looks Luke Dixon inspired. So I'm just going to draw basic outline here. I've got a pencil outline that I did leaning on a window, but now I've come away from the window and I'm just drawing the shapes I can see. Okay, now try and be neat, because that is one of the qualities of Luke Dixon's work. Try and keep your lines controlled, okay, so we're not doing sketchy lines at this stage. And we'll be adding to this in a little while, but let's just start with the outline. Okay, so take your time. I am going to work quite quickly just for the purpose of the demo, but I want you taking your time and making your lines accurate, because like we said, we're demonstrating understanding of Luke Dixon's work, okay? And that's going to be important, that we can control the lines and keep everything nice and clean. So no sketchy hairy lines today for this. Now as we continue down, every edge, see here on the corner of the hair, every edge has to meet with another line. Okay, let's just try and treat the hair as an overall block for now. Don't worry about individual strands, because that won't give us a good effect for Luke Dixon's work. So I'm just going to finish sketching the other bits down here, but they're out of shot, so I won't worry too much about those bits. Now I've got my little outline, we'll just have a little look at it. Okay, we've got most of the shapes there that we need. Now the tricky part is to try and work out what areas we need to have as blocks of tone and how we're going to do that using line and pattern like Luke Dixon. So I'm going to take a few chunks of hair, for example. Again, like we did before, and a bit like what we did with Julian Opie, any section that you choose must join up, okay? So it can't just be a little line like that. It's got to make a shape, okay? I could take some bits from the bottom. Now, have a look at your photograph. Do use your photograph, because that's going to determine where your tones are, where your darkest areas are. So start with sections. If you're feeling unsure, use a pencil to draw some of these sections first. I'm just going to go in and just do it in pen, but try it in pencil. So you can see it starts to look a little bit odd in places, but you have to trust that you are doing it effectively and that it'll come together in the end, okay? Just a few more little bits around the face. Now, you know, you can imagine where the tones are, but you can also look at your photograph. So under the chin, yeah, there's definitely going to be darker areas. And here in the neck, yeah, where the hair will create tones and shadows. So we'll start with those, and let's have a look at how we're going to apply tone to those areas. Now, the important thing with Luke Dixon's work is not only that he uses line to create tone and therefore a sense of form, but there's also direction lines. So don't be too random with the marks you're making. Try and think, what direction is each area going in? What direction is that surface of the skin or the hair or whatever? So here around the eye, I'm going to draw some lines that hopefully tell us about this shape under the eyebrow here, around the eye socket. Now remember, in Luke Dixon's work, if lines are closer together, they're going to create a darker tone, all right? And that's how he uses pen really effectively and really skillfully. Areas where lines are more spaced out will create a lighter tone. So you're creating a variety of tones using pattern, mostly line, but using it carefully and skillfully. You're not just randomly working those lines. Here where the cheeks are, think about those direction lines. Can you see how I've tried to apply that pen mark there to tell us about the span across the cheekbone? Let's get some marks here on the chin. And it will look strange at first. You'll look at it and think, gosh, that's not right. But you have to trust it. It'll come together. Now here I'm spacing the lines out a bit more. I don't want it too dark just there. I want to try and suggest the bend there under the chin as the skin moves around from the chin onto the neck. I'm keeping the lines quite close together here. Can you see how I'm trying to keep it quite neat? Okay, so lines aren't sketching past the outline shapes that we created before. We're controlling those. And you can work back in, you can add more, but it is very difficult to take it away if you have put too much on. So it's best to be a little bit tentative and sensitive to the area you're working in and build it up slowly. Okay, so there's a shadow under the nose. Got to be careful, I don't want it to look like a moustache, but I'm going to add a little bit more tone like that. Let's put a little bit here on the corners of the teeth there. Don't worry, it's going to look weird for a little while. Let's get some shade under the lip there. And keep building it up, working in. I'm going to do some more in the hair now. Now again, think about the direction lines of the hair. The hair is coming from the top to the bottom. So mostly those lines are going to describe that to us. Add a bit more down here. We can do some shapes coming up. Starting to build up and create a sense of form. Now every so often have a little look. I'm looking at this area here. I want to add a bit more dark here, so I can even do a couple of areas where I go for some solid tone. I might just add a little bit there. Let's get this mouth looking a bit more smiley. I think that might work. Don't quite like that shape there, but we'll work into that. Let's take a little bit off here and work that down there. Okay, so it's slowly coming together. Okay, it's not going to work straight away. Build it up. Get some of these tones here. Now remember, when we're doing our artwork, just like when we're doing it at school, if we're having a go and it works, well, that's just wonderful. If we try something, especially if it's something we're not familiar with, and we start to look at it and think, oh gosh, that's awful, and you feel unhappy about it, it doesn't matter. Just have another go. Keep trying. All of this is about practice, yeah? You've got to keep practicing your skills. You won't get everything right straight away. You won't be pleased with everything you do straight away. Chances are you'll do some things and you'll think, gosh, I don't like that. Keep trying. Get another piece of paper. Have another go. Okay? Because everything we do counts towards building our skills and making progress. And then do look after all your little tryouts. Bring them back into school when we do get back. Okay, so don't be throwing anything away just yet. We'll edit your folders when we get back together. So hopefully things are coming together here. Let's have a look. And remember, look at things from a distance because we're working quite close at the moment looking at this image. Okay, but every so often pull back, look at it from a distance. Let's try and work some of this area here. Maybe a little bit here. Okay, get some more darks. Slowly getting the idea, aren't we? Okay, so I've lost one of my eyes. There we go. I think I might leave it like that. Down here I'm working on the arms and the rest of the figure. But for now, for our Luke Dixon demo, that will do. Okay, good luck with that.